give you the kind of the overview, but I want to encourage you to share and call a friend to tell a friend that we are in for a treat this evening. And I feel what I'm going to share is extremely important. We are dealing with three laws of marriage, and I think it's necessary that you hear these laws. It will transform your life. Sending it to the last link to the students, and then we will get right in. All right. Awesome, awesome. I want to appreciate my producer right away, and everybody that has been with us. Those who watch the show after we have after we have posted it. I want to thank all of you, and I want you to know that we appreciate you supporting. We appreciate you sharing. Share it when you come online, and let us learn together. All right. So let me see who is in class. My producer is just showing me a lot of love. Appreciate that. And it's going to be an exciting evening. All right. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to learn together. All right. First thing first, this evening we are going to kind of set ourselves up for effective learning, right? So what I'm going to do is, those of you that are been kind of students that I started with, right, who are able to, some people, they reach out to me, their schedule is not working for them, which is fine. But if they are seriously interested in learning, then they can watch it and still engage the content after the live broadcast, right? But the goal is, I feel I will speak to the producer, and then going forward, I will only teach based on the life story that we present, so that I don't feel like I'm rushing through the life story to go teach a subject. And all the subjects that we don't have life stories for, I will do a Zoom class actually. And those Zoom class can be captured here also and be played sometimes as a pre-recorded telecast. So that is kind of what I feel is sensible. But I will definitely give a teaser after we have gone through the life story. I will kind of give a little teaser so that if you're interested in the class, you will join the Zoom class. When I will let the producer set it up for me so that the video can go to her after the class. And then I think that will be more effective, and I will use the show just to discuss different life stories, and I'll put the lessons out. So notice that I didn't finish how to calculate your wellness number, because I want to do that as a Zoom class. All right. So the reason we are talking about three laws, and I promise we will be doing 10 laws of marriage, but the reason I'm talking about three laws of marriage is that those three laws are going to come out of the life story that we are going to discuss today. I hope it makes sense. All right. So that is the plan for today. I will focus mainly on the three laws of marriage, which is based on the life story that we are going to share together. So a big overview. Today's topic is three laws of marriage. Make sure you get this laws. So if you are a student of my life class on Italk, you might be on live with me, but after this, I want you to sit down, because questions will be coming your way that you need to know what I'm teaching to be able to answer those questions. So basically, if you sign up for the class, what you are saying is that you want to learn as many principles as possible. And so that is what I want to give you. I want to give you as many principles as possible so you can work with it. That's all. So that when you face life challenges, or when you know somebody's facing life challenges, you put one of the principles I've taught you and you apply it. Principles are so powerful because they work everywhere, every time. And so I want you to, so if I say you're a student, it's not your entire life that I'm going to teach, but relationship principles and discipleship principles, leadership principles, those are all the things I seek to bring your way. So today we're going to talk about three laws, which are also three principles of marriage, out of the life story that we are going to share together. We started a journey with a young couple, and we have been gleaning and pulling from their storyline principles. And I have a few of my good friends who are doctors. They are not doctors in family life, but they are doctors in their different one of them is an educational doctor, the other one is also another kind of doctor. But in other words, they are learned people. And I have other friends who also chime in, and some of the early students that I started with, they also bring their ideas. So I'll play some of them also for you today. So in a nutshell, if you get those three laws today and the advice that the panel or the people that I consult, that they are bringing to the story, you have done very well. And then I feel that this show is worth your time. Appreciate you again. Share and let us have a good time together. So first thing first, we are going to take some time and watch the live story. And when I come back, I will play the comment from other people, and I will bring the three laws out of it. And if you're a student of mine, you can ask questions based on the law. And if you have any question, you're also watching us live, you can also send questions. And if you watch us later, still inbox us the questions, and we would definitely love to have you take care of what you have to say. So I'm going to share it on my wall so that people can also get in. All right, so without wasting time at all, let's all go watch the live story, the real life story of the week, and I will come back and play some comments. All right, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. This Italk with Pastor Kwame, and you're watching FVN. God bless you.
It's all right, bro?
All right, I'll send you some highlights later.
Hey, Renal, let me help you with all this mess before I go.
Thanks, Nicholas.
No problem.
Pastor, you need to tell your friend I'm not his mother and he needs to pick up after himself.
Alright, Renal, I'll go talk to him.
I'll see you later, okay?
Okay.
Elijah, I gone.
Yeah, boy, Nick, boy. Later.
Find himself in such a sharp box. In the end, it was a simple finish, and you have to say we've had a very good reaction after going 1-0 down.
Elijah, you didn't eat my food.
No, you could go with that. Mommy passed a little early and she dropped off some food, so I had that.
What? I wake up early to cook food for you and you eat your mother food?
Look, it's not that big of a deal. She just cook a little extra and she drop it by when she come to board the car.
What did you just say? Where's the car, Elijah?
She come to board the car, right? She said she'll drop it back a little later. What's the problem?
No, I'm really trying to understand what you're telling me right now. Because yesterday, I remember asking you to borrow the car to go to work. I had to travel today. You know I had to travel today with groceries to bring for you to cook tomorrow morning, the food that you do not eat. But your mother asked you once to borrow the car and you lent it to her.
Renel, that's it. So what? It's my car. I just pay the monthly installments. Whoever I choose to lend it to is my business.
Your car. Your car. Listen, Mr. Man, I just pay things in here too. You see that cable you're watching? I pay for it. You see this roof over our head? I pay for the rent. Right? So if you want to keep your car, you keep it.
Everybody contributing to the household, Renel. Right? So because you're making a little money, you think you could dictate my life now?
I am not dictating your life. I am your wife. Your mother dictating your life. You're giving her an allowance, you're eating her food, you're lending her the car. What I getting? I traveling like a slave. Right? You're really upsetting me, Elijah.
I upsetting you. I upsetting you? You good petty, but I ain't gonna lie, boy.
Don't ever call me petty again. Right? Because I like some fool getting up every single morning making food for you and you're not even eating it. Right? I traveling, I cooking, I cleaning the house. Right? I coming home, a big bag of mess on the counter. Once it's all trash all over the house, you're not even cleaning, you're not doing anything, Elijah. You know what? Since I petty, ask your mother to make food for you for the rest of the week. Ask her to come and clean this house that you have in a mess for the rest of the week. Because I done.
Renel! Renel!
All right. Welcome back. So, those of you who have been following the story, it is getting real by the minute. The couple are now at the middle of real stuff that is causing a lot of pain and disappointment. Let me kind of tell you the assignment I gave to the people that helped me with the issue that we discussed. So, this is what I told them. The question was, what is the best way to handle a partner who doesn't clean up after him or herself? So basically, the 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 life lesson or the life story is not just the story, but the situation is what you have to address, right? In that way, you are not really speaking to just the boy or the girl, but when a situation like that arises, what do you do? That's the thinking I'm asking for. And then I asked the second one: is it too early in this marriage for the wife to expect her husband to readjust the relationship with the mom? And this question is only for those who understand where things are coming from, because we are all aware that this is not your average boy. He is deeply attached to the mother. And so I'm asking, that is the girl asking a quick change too fast or not? Right. And the third question was, is the husband immature, and how do you what do you do when you are married to an immature person? And then the fourth one was, what do you think is causing all the fight in the marriage? And then lastly, what do you recommend for them? So let's go listen to what some of them. Dr. Gloria has a very interesting approach to the whole thing, which I'm surprised, because she keep kind of speaking in such a way that it addresses not just, because when you they like the obvious thing you see is the things that the boy seems to be doing, that is always what the story writer is using to tell the story. The producer or the writer of the story, they're using the boy's behavior to push the storyline, right? But for some reason, Dr. Gloria is able to ignore that and speak to the role of the woman in this thing, which is very interesting to me. All right, so let's get into Dr. Lily. I've not, this one, we're going to learn it together, because I've not even preview it. But so let's listen to Dr. Lily from London as she talks about the issue at hand.
To this video, in the first place, I'll say it's not too early for the lady to expect her husband to readjust, because the more she stays quiet and let the situation drags on, the lesser the chances of the husband changing and helping her out. You could see that she's stressed. She's going through a lot of emotional pain. She has to let her stand come out clear. I cannot take this. It's affecting me in this way. How can you deny your wife access to a car that is meant for the family, but give it to your mom? What is the guy trying to say to her? It's possible that nothing happened. Maybe perchance she couldn't get access to it. But at this moment, this lady is interpreting the whole thing differently.
That's right.
So he has to sit back and rethink about the whole marriage thing. Is the man immature? I say yes, he is. Very immature. I feel he's not ready to be a husband. He's just a boy who has happened to get himself married. He has not weaned himself from his mother to cleave onto another woman. He needs to do that. And it's up to the mother to help him do that. So what I would recommend is that they need a counselor who would come in to speak to the mom, to let her know that your son is no more a boy. He is a man responsible with a family.
That's right.
And to manage himself and his family, he needs to cleave to the wife. He needs to accept that I am no more mommy's boy. I belong to my wife and my family, and my first responsibility is to my wife, not to my mom. If there's any plan towards the mom, it's both the man and the woman who has to agree and then make plans and preparations for the mother, that is the lady's mother-in-law. But the guy alone cannot take unilateral decisions because it's your mom.
That's right.
If he does that, the lady could also say, I am doing this for my mom. It will also end up bringing friction. So I feel the mother should be spoken to very well, and the lady should be patient.
Beautiful.
For an immature man, he will grow, but it will take time. So the more she keeps whining, the farther the process will be. She should just be patient and do what she can. That's what I can
Awesome.
say.
So
Thank you.
Dr. Lily gave a very interesting take, which I like that. Let's take another. Okay, let me play Dr. Gloria's, who is bringing balance, which I also like. So let me hear what Dr. Gloria also said. So let's all pay attention, listen to what Dr. Gloria also said.
You have to find how he responds.
All right.
All right. So there are several things that I personally find alarming about the situation that they are living in. I don't want to go straight to the boy is immature. I also want to draw the attention to the fact that the girl is also immature in a certain way, right? Just because we've been previewed to the conversations that happened before the wedding, we've been privileged to watch the things that happen at the wedding, right? And I feel like some of the problems they're having now is not just because the boy is immature, it's also because the girl is also immature. And I think when things happen, we always want to make it blame it on one person, but it's always two people that tangle. So there are certain things that she is doing to fuel and enable this behavior. Not to say that it's okay to have, a partner who refuses to clean up after themselves. Those are things that you met them like that. People don't just become that kind of person. So those are things that she had a responsibility to pay attention before committing to this. She should have found out, okay, who am I dealing with? What kind of man am I dealing with? These are things you can find out. It doesn't take too long to find out these things about somebody if you're dating them. And then once you kind of know what they come in with, if it's something you can work with, you take it and run. If you cannot, you leave, right? Because that dating doesn't mean you committed. Dating is when, okay, I'm trying to find out what's up. So if at that point there are things, okay, this is just too much, the mother relationship and things are all things she knew before. So if she was matured, her goal should have been, okay, how do I handle it? Is this something I can deal with? Right? And that is what my problem is with this whole thing. It's like it's a blame game, right? And this person did this and this person did this, but she had a role too, right? She had a choice in this marriage and she chose this. So the immaturity rather is from both of them. The boy still taking care of his mom and things are things that he did before. So if it bothered her, she didn't have to come this far. So the fact that she chose to come this far, to me, means that she's okay with it. And that is why I don't want to blame anybody else but her for putting herself in this situation. The only thing she can do is grow up, find better ways to address it, because that's your husband now, right? If you're not, you cannot leave him because of this. Now it's too late. So now you have to find better ways to live with it. You have to find a better way to talk to him. You know, the argument and the nagging is not going to help. You have to find a better way to address it, and you have to find how he responds to you better, and then use that to talk to him and address it.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, so I like the balance. So let me go to Facebook and see if I have any comment from listeners and those who are connecting with me. So let me see Facebook, any um s- any comment from any person on Facebook. All right, let me see. So producer says what? Elijah Niece cane lashes. Elijah needs cane lashes. Interesting. So, my producer doesn't like abuse, but all of a sudden, he, she wants to abuse Elijah already. All right. Let me go back and read other comment from some of the students. I think Amma sent something. Amma sent something that I thought it was interesting. So let me read that also. Uh, let's see what she said, and then I will play one from Moline, and then I will give my take on that. So I think Amma wrote some things. She said that initiate a straightforward. So it's a question one. If you are going to live with somebody who doesn't clean up after himself, it says initiate a straightforward conversation, bring it to their attention, create healthy boundaries. All right, stop picking up the slack for your partner and engaging with them when they come up with excuses for poor choices. Seek professional help. The same thing, like I think the other commenter said. Also, don't take it personal. His immaturity is much more about him than you. Okay, respond, but don't react to his bad behavior. Stay calm as and as unemotionally involved as possible. Okay, and so focus on his better qualities. Stand up for yourself, model what you want to see him do, take care of yourself. All right, that's really good stuff. um so I kind of like that also. So let me go play another audio also for us to listen. So this audio was a lot series of answers to some of the questions. So let's take a listen.
Number 3 question. Is the husband immature? And what do you do when you're married to an immature person? So, in the context of this story, yes, the husband, Elijah, is very immature and petty. He's inconsiderate, selfish, a mama's boy,
Wow, somebody is not
and
happy today.
apparently he does not see that his immaturity is affecting his relationship with his wife. The wife has been very patient, it appears. She's married to a selfish person. He doesn't care or consider her feelings. She had to go grocery shopping through public transportation, had to go to work through public transportation. She asked for his car and he refused to let her use it. But when his mother came and asked her for the car, he lent it to his mother. And also, she cooks for him the same groceries she was going to buy and had to carry through public transportation. He refused to aid in that. He could have at least offered to drive her to the supermarket to pick up the stuff or drop her at work if he did not want to give her the car. He just does not care about his wife. He's a selfish, inconsiderate person.
My goodness. So Elijah is in trouble. All right. Let me see if I have any comment. We will I will start teaching on the principles. Any comment from Facebook? Elijah is in big trouble. So from the comment I've received, it looks like there is a clear kind of feedback on what we are looking at, which is there's a need for Elijah to step up and behave correctly. All right, let me see. His mom. Okay, I have a comment from the producer says his mom has. Now that's where my eyes can see. He says now his mom was bragging about his son. Meanwhile, he's just eh, he's just a liability. My goodness, handsome is very immature. Handsome husband is very immature. He's so much a boy, not a husband. I love that. All right. Okay. So, um, I hear you, but I like what Dr. Gloria also brought to the picture that so things you should look for before you get married, so that you don't go and buy. And let me give you a joke. You don't buy I remember when we came to the Bronx, right? Myself and my sister, and then my sister went and bought 24 pens. Pen, that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is a pack of 24 pens, right? From the 99-cent store for $1. 24 pence, 24 in a packet, and it was sold for $1. And then she brought it home, and none of them were right. And then I told her, you bought 24 pence for $1 and you want it to write. You understand? So when you're going to marry, make sure that you know that if this is what I'm getting, then why will I bring you home and complain that doesn't work? I said, so when you go back to the customer service, they will tell you you bought 24 pence for $1 and you expect it to write. Do you understand? So as a joke, the point is that know what you are getting. And Dr. Gloria is making a point that if you are receiving a husband home, then don't just receive any husband, then just commit to something you don't know and come and complain that he is this and that. You should look for those things. And so it's also showing her area of immaturity. And Dr. Gloria is actually saying that the mommy's boy is not a news, right? And so the boy is just being himself. All of the character he's showing, he just didn't show them in the marriage. So that is what you look for when you're going to get married, so that you know what you are dealing with. Don't be blinded by his handsomeness. Don't be blinded by his new job. Don't be blinded by the things he's saying. Look for the who he is. But if you close your eyes to who he is and you come back and tell us that you are crying, then it looks like you are rather immature. And so that's kind of what Dr. Gloria is saying. But reality speaking, the girl also is not to blame because she has not married him before to know that he wouldn't behave, right? And so nobody has gone into marriage before. I remember sometimes in my personal marriage, when things get difficult, I don't know whether it was an excuse I'll tell my wife, but I keep telling her, I don't know if you think I should know what to do, because I've not, this day in our marriage is the first time I'm seeing it. So all the things I'm doing, I don't have a copy somewhere to compare. So we do as we go. So don't question me as if I know the right answer and I'm not putting in the days that we are living, right? So all the mistakes is me because we are this is real. We are doing it. It's not a production that we have fixed all the errors. So as we go, we make errors basically. So the wife also is in a place where she can say that, oh, I know that when I marry him, he will do A, B, C, D. So basically, that is the reality check that's happening. So I appreciate the takes from both from the people that have chipped in. So let me just step in and now share with you the laws of marriage, and that's what we're going to talk about. I don't know if producer want me to just go ahead and do it or we take a break, but that's all we'll be doing today, the 3 laws of marriage based on this story. So when I get a go ahead from the producer, I will either take a break and come on the other side, or I will just continue. Okay, let me just share one, and then we will take the other 2 on the other side. So pay attention. Those of us who are students, this is where you write. This is where I'll quiz you on. All right. So the first law, and producer, this is where you type things for me. Also, know what you are getting exactly. He lacks home training. All right. Yes. Probably he was spoiled by the mother. Right. So producer, here's where I want you to type things for me. All right. So the first law of marriage states that marriage is a sanctifier. Marriage is a sanctifier. I hope I'm pronouncing the word right. So it's the root word is sanctify. And sanctifier is something that cleanses something. You understand? Marriage is a sanctifier. Now, what does that mean? All right. It means that marriage is designed not to allow you to live with the bad characters in you. When you are by yourself, single, you can live anyhow you want, accommodate all your weaknesses, accommodate all your laziness, accommodate every bad character in you, and you can live like that single person and die and not change. But as soon as you marry, marriage cannot accommodate any bad thing in you. So marriage corner you to a place where you have to change or the marriage will not work. So I put it this way. So God put sugar in the heart of two people to lie to them, to get them into marriage so that they can change. So anytime you enter marriage, marriage is designed to be a sanctifier. So you'll be given the option, you change or the marriage falls apart. You understand? Because with marriage doesn't work if you don't want to change your bad character. So marriage will force you to be sanctified. Marriage cannot accommodate bad character. Marriage cannot accommodate all the things that are wrong with you. So marriage will demand that you change and do right. You understand? So most of the time, when marriage is doing its work of sanctification, most people will have the option divorce or change. Right? The reason marriage is a sanctifier is that anything that is built to be permanent cannot be compromised. You understand? Anything that is designed to be permanent cannot be compromised. My favorite story about one of the airplane companies in America, I think it's Boeing, that wanted to build an airplane but still compromise. And they end up killing hundreds of people because their planes kept crashing. Because marriage is supposed to be a permanent institution, it doesn't have room for you to live in it with bad character. So what we are experiencing is marriage doing the sanctifying work. You can't stay in marriage and not fix things that are wrong with you. As a single person, you can go to people's house where the food they ate 6 years is still on their bed and they are by themselves and they will just die in that dirt. But as soon as you marry, marriage is a sanctifier. It will require that all the bad things in you cannot be accommodated in here. So God uses marriage to sanctify people. So I want to be careful not to say all divorce are people's fault, but marriage will always give you the option, you change or the marriage fall apart. And a lot of people rather will leave the marriage than change. Because marriage doesn't work if you want to sit in it and not remove all the bad behaviors that you have. You understand that? So the first law of marriage is that marriage is a sanctifier, which means that it is a place that cannot accommodate any bad behavior in you. So it will force you, it will corner you. You change or this thing fall apart. You understand that? So marriage is the first law of marriage is that marriage is a sanctifier, meaning that marriage cannot accommodate wrong character in your life. You either fix your character or the marriage fall apart. And we notice that over and over again, some people will rather break the marriage than to fix the area that marriage is demanding a sanctification, right? So the friction we are seeing in this picture is that marriage is placing a demand on both ends to step up and do right. You understand? And until you do right, you will never be happy in a marriage. Do you see that? I will talk, if we have time, talk about what are the other options, because sometimes people decide not to marry anymore, but to stay together. Because marriage will demand that you do right. But some people don't want to do right. They want to eat their cake and have it. They want to leave a bad character and also stay married. When that happens, they don't become married, they just live together. You realize that they don't talk. They are there, but they are not there. They are having a form of marriage, but it's not really no marriage. No marriage is happening, and a lot of couples are like that. They are there for sometimes. You see the man come in, he doesn't say anything. He just eats and he goes sleep. And it's like they are there, but there's no marriage going on. That is because when they start talking, they fight because they rather not be sanctified by the frictions they are facing, and they also don't want to divorce. So rather, let's not marry, but let's just stay together. And so you see that they have separate lives and nothing is happening. Do you understand that? Right. But the first law is called the law of sanctifier, which is marriage demands that you can't bring any bad trait in you and stay in there. It will make you. So there's always the option. You either divorce, break this marriage, or change. Because marriage is a sanctifier. All right. I hope it makes sense. All right. Yes, thank you for putting that out there. Marriage is a sanctifier. Simply put, it will place a demand that you behave right. So the option is you do right, you cut out all the bad traits in you, or you keep the bad trait and you leave the marriage. Both cannot exist because you can't build any institution that will last forever and compromise. Any bridge that is supposed to last forever and is architecturally not following architectural principle, it will fall down. That's what Jesus said. If you build your house on that which is right, then the rain and the storm will come in and it will not break. But if you don't build it on what is right and there are wrong characters in you, but you still want to build marriage on yourself, then it will break real hard when things get difficult. So marriage is a sanctifier. As the first law of marriage, it requires that you change. All right. So we will be right back and talk about the other two laws, and I'll take any question that you will have. All right. Stay tuned. You are watching I Talk with Pastor Kwame. We are treating the 3 laws of marriage. Awesome, we are back. All right. My producer wants to hear the law, so she doesn't want us to play any long music. All right. So we talk about the first law, marriage sanctifier. Number 2, the second law of marriage is a unifier. Right? Marriage is a unifier. Sanctifier is it will place a demand on you to get rid of all the bad characters in you. The second law of marriage is a unifier, and this is a little difficult. For a sanctifier, it kind of makes sense because you know that as for me, this area of my life, I'm not good at it, right? And that's the area the problems will always come from. Unless you change, that's where the problem will always be in the marriage, right? Because it's to place a demand that for this thing to work, you got to get rid of this bad character, right? And so that's a sanctifier. And people will be happy that now, if I will live by myself, I will be so relaxed and not change. But the marriage has now made me a better person because the change is not only for me, but it's also for the marriage, the institution that I'm in. So I have 2 reasons why I have to act right. It benefits me as a person and also sustain my marriage. You understand that? Exactly. The second law of marriage is called marriage is a unifier. And this is very difficult. Unifier means that marriage is designed to break you so that it can make we. Marriage is designed to break you to make we, right? The word is you. For marriage to happen, the you must turn to we. YOU must be much, much and used to build WE. Do you understand? So for the unification to take place, there must be first a breaking of you. Do you understand? It starts with you, and we are supposed to create we. But that process of making we must first do damage a little bit to the individual pieces, to break it, to mush it, and then use it to form the we. So the unifier requires in marriage is said that the things that may not be bad about you, the things that are not that necessarily bad about you, still need to be broken for the sake of the making of the we. So if you stay in marriage and you want to maintain who you are, marriage cannot allow that. Do you understand? As soon as you come into the marriage, understand that we need a raw material that can be blended into a we. So when we look at this story, what is happening is that the will, the egos, the way forward is a sense of me, my, how I do it, especially on the boy side. If the boy wants to stay the boy as he was before marriage, it won't work. The break the mother away, break all of that away, to kind of, you understand, to break all of that, break all the girl also, and now form a we. You understand? So if you maintain who you are in the marriage will not work, because marriage is a unifier. Yes, I am a scientist, and when we unify sodium and chloride to make salt, if you still see the sodium and the chloride also staying as sodium and chloride, you can't get salt. There must be a change. There must be, the sodium must change its form, the chloride must change its form, and then the unity of that is what we call salt. You understand that? So when you come into marriage and you look the same as when you are single, then marriage will reject you, because marriage wants to kind of, you see what I'm trying to say? Marriage wants to make a cake out of the two of you. So if you're the sugar and I'm the flour, and I want to stay pure sugar, we can make cake. If I want it, there must be a mixing where I lose my me, you lose your you, and then we make a we. And that process is painful. The process of the breaking of the you to make the we is hot. That's what you're seeing over there. It's hot, where there must be an adjustment of how you are as a person. There must be an adjustment of, and that's why I'm saying that with the sanctifier is easy, because you know that this bad thing have to change. But when it comes to unification, even the thing you like, it might not be bad, but still it requires that you drop it. Taking care of your mom is not bad at all, but to form a we, you must understand that I will lose a me to make a we. I will lose a me to make a we. And a lot of people don't want to lose the we, the me to make a we. Just no. As for me, that's why marriages of good people can even fall apart. Do you understand? Because there are two bishops, big bishops, that we think that if the woman is a bishop and the man is a bishop, they should marry. But the bishop, I guess bishop is the highest form of you. They couldn't marry. The marriage fell apart, because for you to marry, you must lose the you. And that point number 2, I'm still working on it. You understand? Because because by the grace of God, I'm very kind of talented in many areas. I kind of want to be a solo person. If you can't marry, you understand? There must be a laying down of the you so that the we can form. Whatever you lay down is good or bad. And with this, I want to add a point that sometimes when the you that is very strong, the you that is very quality, sometimes lay the foundation for the we to take place. So in this particular picture, for example, for them to come together, the woman will do a lot of sacrifices. Do you understand? Because she is in the way things are flowing, she is the one that coming in with the expectation of we are working together. Remember last episode, she forgot, she selflessly stopped school to make it happen. So she has some qualities to make the we happen. So when the we is forming, the one with the good heart and good character lay their life down as a foundation for the we to be formed. You understand? So when the we is coming together, usually the one with the good character is the one that must hold the base of the forming of the we, and then the one with not that strong character will kind of come in. But the second law of marriage is that marriage is a unifier, and to keep yourself as the way you were when you were single and to marry, it will not accept it. It will reject you. Marriage will reject you if you're not willing to lose yourself. Do you understand? Marriage will reject you if you want to be like when you were single. Marriage will reject you if you are not ready to lose whatever you think made you you and allow the process of we to form. Most people say the two shall be one flesh. The question is which one? You see, that error thinking, because if I can see the sodium in the salt, it didn't form salt. It loses itself and then it become one. You understand that? So if you don't want to lose yourself, you can't marry. If you want your things your way, you can't marry. If you want, as for me, this is how I want my things, marriage will reject you, because a marriage is a unifier. In other words, there is going to be a painful restructuring, a painful deconstruction and reconstruction of the unit. So your personal way of doing things will always be put away, and the union goal will be the focus. So it will be something more beautiful that has your characteristics in it, but the final thing is a whole new entity altogether. And like I said, it's a journey that I am personally on, and I don't think I've reached. You understand that? A place where you can embody the unit and the two has become one, because your personal whatever it is not your goal. And it's where all the major compromises, all the major this require renewing your mind. This require vulnerability. This require adjusting your rights, require shaping the way you think. Sometimes the kind of because if you marry and the marriage has a lot of you in it, when you are coming, you are not eating this kind of food. When you're coming, you're not. So the whole family looks like you. They don't eat something because this guy don't eat something. You understand? That means that you are just domineering. You are just controlling things. There's no marriage going on. You have just come and you have colonized somebody's daughter or somebody's son. But if the marriage is happening, new flavors are coming through, new properties are coming through, trying new things, understanding that I am a neat freak. I like neat things. But because we have married, there's a balance. We clean together when we clean, but we don't overstress ourselves when things are not in place. I have learned, Paul says, I have learned how to deal with the law. I have learned, that means that Paul is married to Christ. He has been flexible, malleable, oh, my technical words are coming, ductile, and all of that. You understand? Fluid. You follow? That's why unification requires melting and remodeling. Do you understand that? So your ego has been crushed in a blender. Your girl power has been crushed. Whatever you think you are, it has been crushed and it has been blended and has made a good smoothie that you can't separate things out. And there's this joy in the house because nobody is being controlled by anybody. But the blend is sweet because we came in to understand that if I want to be my old self, marriage will reject me. All right. Okay. So any question on that? And then I will go to the last one. Let me see what I got going here. It says both of them will be bush-shopping till they fall apart. Unfortunately, yes. Marriage is a unifier. All right. So, and then we're going to do the last law. All right. All right. So the last law is that marriage requires reality. Marriage requires reality. All right. So this is my last point, and it's very important. I'm going to use the analogy of the popcorn analogy, right? Now, anybody that knows popcorn is happy when the microwave is making noise. Pop, 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 right? Anybody that knows how to make popcorn will not be happy when there's no pop sound going on. If you put it in the oven and after a while you don't hear no pop sound, as quiet and calm as it is, it's a bad idea. You understand that? Right. So in the same way, marriage is going the right direction when you see these fighting going on. You understand? Because that means that the forming is trying and things are kicking away. Do you understand? What you realize that most marriage doesn't form because when they do 1, 2, 3 fight, instead of removing the obstacle that's causing the fight, then they all stay quiet and you have a fake marriage which is not real and they are sitting with it and they don't fight, they don't do anything. I remember a man came on TV and said, I've been married for 60 years. And then they said, how do you do that? He said, we live in separate houses. Do you understand that? So basically, any trained eye or special person, they are happy when couples are fighting because it means that there's real something going on. So marriage can only be healthy if it was first real. But marriages where it is not real, somebody is secretly submitting, but they can't really share how they feel, and everything says yes, a boss, and that is a fake marriage, and it is not real, and they are just lying to themselves. It is fake. If it's real, there will be fight. If it's real, there will be misunderstanding. If it's real, that's what I'm saying, that anytime you don't fight with your partner, you have to run away from the house. Because that means that they are planning to do something to you. So everything you say, they'll say, okay. Only scam artists, only 419 guys will always now fight with you. You say, let's go here. Say, okay. Anybody who always say yes, yes to you is not real. And chances are they are trying to maybe do something to you. So they want to, that's what I'm saying. The devil sell pillow and God sell rock to put your head on. The devil wants you to be comfortable so he can slice your throat. Somebody put their lap on a woman and the hair was cut off. Somebody put his head on a rock and saw heaven open. Do you understand that? So marriage law 3 is that marriage require that it's real. So I am excited that they are fighting because it is from that fight that the marriage seek to find its healthiness. As soon as you are afraid of the confrontation and all of you just pull back and then you begin to pretend that, okay, we will never talk. Is the food ready? Yes. Eat, go sleep. That means that what you guys have is not real. There's no chemistry bonding. There's no intimacy forming. You understand that? So don't be afraid of the conflict in marriage. It's a sign that the marriage is real. And so from conflict, you move to health. Do you understand? It start with the sugar God put in. So that one is a trick. God put a sugar in the heart of the two people that makes them think they can die for each other. They say, my senior pastor said, "Oh, yeah, you sit down." When he was blessing a marriage, the couple were talking some strange things during the wedding vow. So you just keep talking and you go home and start fighting, right? So God sets us up like that, puts some sugar in our heart where we think we can die for each other. And it causes us to enter the covenant like that. You understand? And when we enter the covenant like that, then the reality sets in. So the sugar stage, and then the real stage, and then the marriage stage, right? But when people start from the sugar state and they see the real state, and they don't want to go to the real marriage, then they readjust where they have this fake thing going on, but the girl has a guy in a secret who serves her engine for her. The husband has two side chicks somewhere. So what is a facade? What they think like it's just for picture, but truly there's no marriage going on, because you have what you like, I have what I like. There is no sense of marriage. You understand that? So what we are looking at in this picture is a law of marriage, which is a good thing. When you start misunderstanding, disagreeing, it means this is a real marriage. Their emotions are in, their stress are in, and they need to solve this to be well, because marriage is such that if you don't fix it, you can't enjoy it. Let me say it again. If you don't fix the problems in the marriage, you can't enjoy it. You can lie to yourself that we didn't fix it. It's not fine, because marriage is supposed to feed you emotionally. You understand that? So when the friction comes in, and instead of you to really let it sanctify you, let it unify you, and let it bring you to the stage of marriage, you rather hold on to your ego, hold on to your identity, hold on to whatever, and form this separation where you are together but you're not together. Everybody's on their own and doing my thing, whatever, and you call it marriage. You will cheat, because the marriage is not feeding you, because you didn't allow the marriage to happen. So your happiness is on a phone with another guy. His happiness is on the phone with another girl, because you guys outwardly look like married, but the marriage is not servicing you emotionally, psychologically, mentally. So all the joy you get is from outside somewhere. You understand? So marriage is very, very, very stubborn. It won't allow you to do it the wrong way. It won't allow you to not obey the laws. You understand? And so when people say we've been married for 10 years, sometimes it's not true. They have been living together for 10 years. They're not really married. They didn't allow the sanctification and the unification to take place. And it's easy to live together than to marry. You understand? And the truth is, if you don't allow marriage to do what marriage is supposed to do, I can guarantee you, you can't harvest a marriage that is not there. And if marriage happens, if marriage happens, I'm not talking about wedding. If marriage happens between two people, that's why God compares that to the union between the church and Jesus Christ. If you allow marriage to happen, it is the greatest experience ever. Do you understand? So these are the three laws. Law number one, marriage is a sanctifier. Law number two, marriage is a unifier. Lastly, marriage is required that it's real. So from real, you go to healthy. If it's not real, it can be healthy. So remember the popcorn. If it's not popping, it means it's not working. But when there's high emotions, people are, and it needs to be controlled. It's like kill each other or something. But when you see that there is a dialogue going on, it means that they are actually expressing their true feeling about the situation, and it needs that from that point on, there's hope. So marriages that have conflict is a good marriage. It means that it wants to form. That's why you hear the shout. That's where you hear the cry. So once they allow all the fight to melt and reform them, before you know, you have a solid something going. All right. Let me see if I have questions and then we will wrap up. But I hope you got the 3 laws. All right, let me see. So producer, you have been spending time with me. I appreciate that so much. It's not popping, then it's not working. Oh, yeah, exactly. Third law, marriage is real when things going on. Marriage is real when things going on. Please rewrite that again. So marriage is real. Marriage is real. The third one is that marriage is real. In other words, marriage require that you are honest with yourselves, right? Expressing how exactly what you feel. When you start disagreeing in marriage, then you have a real thing going. Exactly. Yep. Wow. So basically, that is the point. So these are the 3 laws of marriage: the law of sanctifier, the law of unifier, and the law of real, which is that you can only get a healthy marriage if you are real. Right? You can write it like that. You can only get a healthy marriage if you are real. If you're pretending, if you are faking it, if you are pretending everything is well, or if you are tired, so I'm tired of talking. So what happens when they are not allowing the sanctifying, the unifying to go on? They say, I'm tired of talking. I'll just now do my own thing. You understand that? Marriage is tough. It is going to blend you and make you into smoothie, right? So it's tough, right? You have to surrender and say, not my will, but the good of this union, right? Change some things in you, adjust some things in you, so that the purpose of marriage can come. And I'm just saying, when you are married, when marriage really happens, it's a whole new thing. When marriage happens, it's a whole new thing, right? It's a whole new thing. Because in this world, you only need one person that you can trust, and it's supposed to come out of marriage. But some people don't trust their husbands, some people don't trust their wife because marriage didn't happen. Right. All right. Any question before we wrap up? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so any questions before we wrap up? Thank you for producer for sticking around. You are doing amazing work with moi. Let me see if the class has posted anything. Today I didn't see nobody in class. That's interesting. But hey, I'm enjoying my time with my producer, and you can check the show out after we are done. Awesome. All right, perfect. So um any question before we wrap up? I hope you got those 3 laws clearly. We are on a journey to do 10 laws of marriage. So appreciate all of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us. We took a little bit of time we started late, but I'm glad you are watching Italk with Pastor Kwame. Take care. Have those in America have an awesome 4th of July, and we will connect again next week around the same time. God bless you. Have a good weekend.